Hello, welcome to this lecture. Today we are going to discuss the last part of this topic, which is toxicity and undesirable effects of the opioids. And when we talk about toxic effects, it could lead to nausea, respiratory depression, we already mentioned before, and then obviously the treatment for the diarrhea, but if overused, it can lead to constipation. And other than that, it could cause dependence, it could cause tolerance, it could be cause physical dependence, psychological dependence, it could lead to addiction. So there's a lot of toxic effects, and we need to see before these all things. And the tolerance, dependence, and addiction are the common effect. So what is meant by tolerance? As mentioned before, that patient, when we take opioids, patient feel better, but then after certain level, patient require more dosage than last time or the previous time patient has been taken. Maybe if, for example, patient take 10 milligram of opioid and he feel better with the diarrhea, maybe not taking loperamide. As I already mentioned, loperamide has not much addiction or dependence, but if, for example, morphine, but if next time patient need more drug to achieve the same therapeutic efficacy or same therapeutic effect, then it could also lead to dependence and addiction. If obviously the patient is well, patient don't need any drug, and patient maybe because of different psychoactive drugs patient take this drug, then obviously patient can get addicted to these drugs. So again, the dependence and addiction usually associated with patients that are healthy, and then these healthy patients taking morphine. The common example I mentioned before is about a cough syrup. Cough syrup contain codeine, and these cough syrup now has been misused in different parts of the world, like in Nigeria. So we need to see very carefully. Then addiction could be happen with these type of drugs. So the tolerance happen. Why tolerance happen? Because again, the thing is that opioids need to be bind with the receptors, and opioid actually, when we need to see that the drug effect is because of the increase of the dopamine. And what happened that I mentioned here, the reward pathway. We need to understand first of all the important role of dopamine. I mentioned before that why we get happy, why we get so much happy, our feelings. So serotonin and dopamine are the important pathways. That's why the drug addicts, they take morphine or heroin, because it increases the release of the dopamine. So the more release of the dopamine leads to more happiness for them. So the main, and it is known as reward pathway. That's why we mention this name reward. Reward mean any gift. Why we mention? Because the increased release of the dopamine produce more intense effect or more intense euphoria, which is inhibited by the GABA receptors. But when opioid act, GABA is no longer released. So what happens when the opioids will be act, the GABA will be stop functioning. So that is very important. So you can see that the dopamine release will be very important. But what happened with the passage of time? There is a need of more drug to produce more dopamine in the body. So the release of the same dopamine level in the body needs more amount of drug, and then if a patient need more amount of drug, then it can slowly leads to tolerance. So what is actually happening, that the dopamine release is very important, and when the dopamine release will be stopped or reduced, then this tolerance will develop. So we mentioned here that other undesirable effects like opioid will reduce CAMP, which is known as cyclic AMP or second messenger, and the body will produce cyclic AMP itself in order to maintain the steady state concentration. So obviously what happening, that opioid is reducing the cyclic AMP, but our body needs to produce cyclic AMP. But what happened, that after a period of time the cyclic AMP will be increases, resulting need to increase the dose of the opioid to maintain the steady effect, and that is also responsible for the tolerance, which usually occur in 2 to 3 weeks. So again, the important thing is that the role of cyclic AMP is very important, and our body need to be maintain the homeostasis. If you see that we have more cyclic AMP, then it activate more neurons. If we have less cyclic AMP, then it inhibit the neurons. And what the drug actually is doing is that we want to maintain the dosage of opioid. So if you take a look of the diagram, you can see that opioid use decrease the cyclic AMP. So the opioid use, after decreasing the cyclic AMP, the body will try to produce more cyclic AMP. So if the body produce more cyclic AMP, then the dose of the opioid need to be maintained. So the dose will be automatically increased. So there is very strong relationship between the cyclic AMP. Opioids decrease cyclic AMP, our body need increase cyclic AMP. If our body increase cyclic AMP, there is a time where increase of the cyclic AMP occur, and the increase of the cyclic AMP is then responsible for the opioids to increase the dose. So we need to increase the dose so that we maintain the steady state concentration. So that is very important, and that's actually happening in the tolerance. So it is also responsible for the dependence, and the development of physical dependence is accompanied because of the tolerance and the repeated administration of the dose. Patient become dependent on them, because obviously if opioid use is stopped for maybe, if for example we talk about the addiction with the morphine or heroin, and if one social community, society, sometimes some people try with different drugs, and then after a few times he want to stop that drug but he unable to do, because what has happened that cyclic AMP level remain high as mentioned before, and that what happened that certain neurons become overactive. The overactivity occur, why? We mentioned before that the cyclic AMP is responsible for the overactivation of neurons. As mentioned, more cyclic AMP, more active neurons. So what happened that if patient taking opioid and suddenly stop, their cyclic AMP is already high, and if their cyclic AMP is already high, then their neuronal activity, overactivity occur, and then that leads to the withdrawal symptoms, like for example severe cramps, sometimes it could lead to severe cramp or flu-like symptoms, and that is the indication of the withdrawal symptoms. So then patient need to patient cannot stop the drug immediately. Patient need to reduce the dose of the drug so that the cyclic AMP level become normal with the time. So the toxic effect symptoms of withdrawal like vomiting, anxiety, shivering, tremor, yawning, body aches, sneezing, runny nose, flu-like symptoms are mostly occur because of the withdrawal symptoms of these drugs, and it can affect daily life functions.
Naloxone saves lives. Note when opioids are sitting on their receptors, they change the activity of the cell. Opioid receptors are found on nerve cells all around the body. In the brain, opioids produce feelings of comfort and sleepiness. In the brainstem, opioids relax breathing and reduce cough. In the spinal cord and peripheral nerves, opioids slow down pain signals. In the gastrointestinal tract, opioids are constipating. These opioid actions can be helpful. The body actually produces its own opioids called endorphins, which help calm the body in times of stress. Endorphins help produce the runner's high that helps marathon runners get through grueling races. But opioid drugs, like prescription pain medications or heroin, have much stronger opioid effects, and they're more dangerous. Over time, frequent opioid use makes the body dependent on the drugs. When the opioids are taken away, the body reacts with withdrawal symptoms such as headache, racing heart, soaking sweats, vomiting, diarrhea, and tremors. For many, the symptoms feel unbearable. With continued use, opioid receptors also become less responsive, and the body develops tolerance to the drugs. More drugs are needed to produce the same effects, which makes overdose more likely. Overdose is dangerous, especially for its effect in the brainstem, relaxing breathing. Breathing can be relaxed so much that it stops, leading to death. Naloxone knocks opioids off their receptors all around the body. In the brainstem, naloxone can restore the drive to breathe and save a life. But even if naloxone is successful, opioids are still floating around, so expert medical care should be sought as soon as possible. Naloxone works for 30 to 90 minutes before the opioids return to their receptors. Naloxone may promote withdrawal because it knocks opioids off their receptors so quickly. But otherwise, naloxone is safe and unlikely to produce side effects. Naloxone saves lives. From 1996 to 2014, at least 26,500 opioid overdoses in the United States were reversed by laypersons using naloxone. While naloxone is a potentially life-saving treatment, more needs to be done to solve the opioid overdose epidemic. The National Institutes of Health launched the HEAL initiative in 2018, expanding research across multiple NIH institutes and centers to speed scientific solutions to the national opioid crisis. Research is underway to improve treatments for opioid misuse and addiction, and to enhance pain management. The National Institute on Drug Abuse, or NIDA, is a leading NIH institute for research on opioid misuse and addiction, and its support helped the development of the user-friendly naloxone nasal spray. For more information, see NIDA's website at drugabuse.gov and search naloxone, or visit nih.gov and search NIH HEAL Initiative. General opioid information can also be found at medlineplus.gov. This video is produced by Medline Plus, a trusted source of health information from the National Library of Medicine.
So thank you so much for today's lecture. Hope to see you again.